Welcome to the Jessica's Music Talk Pod. I am very, very happy to be here again. I just want to, first of all, before I welcome my guest of today, I want to thank all the people who are supporting the podcast, all the people who put likes, all the people who share the videos, all the people who support the podcast and who support the artists who are interviewed in this podcast. And thank you very much. I'm very, very grateful. Last week, I had an interview with zero point 0.5 from Luxembourg. If you want to check the interview again, don't forget you can go into the YouTube channel to check the video. From now on, I am also on Spotify. I post the episodes on Spotify only on in audio version. But yeah, for all the people who prefer to use Spotify to listen to the podcast and to listen to the interviews without having the video, just don't hesitate. You can also go on Spotify and subscribe to the Spotify channel of the podcast. And yes, and don't hesitate to subscribe to this channel also here in YouTube if you are watching the podcast for the first time. Welcome. Everybody is welcome. And I am very, very happy to receive a band today that I didn't know before. So, Kevin, who is my guest today from Deep Notes, he saw the podcast, he sent me an email. I listened to what they do and it's great. And I accepted, of course. So I proposed a date for the interview. And yes, and I am very, very happy to receive Kevin, who will talk a little bit about the band. Hi, Kevin. How are you doing?
Hi, Jessica. Yeah, great. It's really, really nice to be on the show here. So thanks for inviting us.
Thank you very much too. So, like I was telling before, I just want to say that I want to thank you, and I'm very, very grateful with you, Kevin, because uh, I was telling you that we never met each other before. And you are supporting the Jessica's Music Talk Pod since the start. You share the videos, you talk about it, and I am so grateful. Thank you so much. I was not expecting that from somebody that never knew me before, and yes, the universe is really kind with me and puts me people in my in my way that are so kind, and that support my job. And I really appreciate what you do, and thank you so much, really. And also I want also to tell the public who are listening that you do not only this for my podcast, you share also a lot of stuff from other artists and musicians from Luxembourg, and this is really nice. You are really supporting the local scene, not only your band but everybody, and you really I admire what you do, and thank you for everything that you do.
No,
So, and
that's awesome.
now we will talk about Deep Notes. Deep Notes, your music is so nice. The first time I listened to it, it made me think about ZZ Top, and I'm a great fan. So
That's
it's
awesome.
old school blues rock music, and yeah, I love it. But for all the people who don't know your band and the projects, so how did this adventure start?
It started, it's sort of transformed over time, but a friend of mine, Thomas, is a Polish guy. It was kind of post-pandemic. My old band broke up pretty much just as the pandemic hit. So we were just sort of jamming in Sonotron in Differdange, which is like one of my favorite rehearsal spaces, I think, in the world. And yeah, then my old bass player, Roberto, said he was free, so he came along and started jamming. And then we needed a drummer, so we got in contact with we just asked about, and this guy Pitt was recommended. He's a Luxembourgish drummer. So he joined, and then Thomas and Roberto, for various personal reasons, left. So it was just me and Pitt. So we've been building it up again, and it's kind of over that period of time transformed like really an awful lot in terms of what the music's like. And recently we were joined by Jamie Jackson, who hopefully will be joining us tonight if he can. He's quite a well-known guitarist in the kind of British expat community. He plays in a band called Lil Dukes, and he played in another band called Stone Jackson Band, which was quite popular in the kind of, you know, British and Irish sort of expat community. And most recently we were joined by JC or JC, depending on which whether you're in France or whether you're in the UK. So he's joined us with like a huge amount of experience. He runs the Rock University. I don't know if you know that music school.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know a few people who work there or are still working there. I don't know yet, but yeah.
Yeah. So he's just opening up a new studio. I'm not sure whether that's like fully publicly known yet, but he's got another project on the go, but still finds time to come rehearse us. So we've changed from kind of a bluegrass kind of influence band into this kind of much more rocky thing that we play today. Sort of quite energetic and maybe a bit angry as well. I don't know, but we enjoy it. It works for us.
And only original songs, so everything composed and written by you guys. And
yeah, it's like 70%, original. We do play some covers. We do, a couple of, blues standards and some other kind of songs that we just like playing. But yeah, mostly it's original material.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, every original band plays always like 2 or 3 covers, but the fact that the biggest part of it is original, it's great. I always support that. I am always this this one who is annoying everybody, like, play originals, and the singer-songwriting is great, and we need people who keep doing that and who keep believing in the songwriter stuff. So yes, and what you do is really, really nice, and I feel that always more and more people, even young people, are returning back to the old school styles, and because I feel that some people are tired of what is being done today, commercially spoken.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people are also aware that the old bands like the Rolling Stones and all these old bands, they keep working, they keep doing the stuff, they keep filling stadiums and great halls, and everybody keeps loving them. And I think that's even the young people began to think, okay, if they have still so much success, it's because people still like their music. So they are starting to take these influences, and even if the people mix with new styles, they keep this old school style influence, because they feel that it works. Like a band of very young guys that I interviewed 2 months ago, the Quincy's band. They are here from Portugal. They are very, very young, and their music, they also do originals, and their music influences is Beatles and Led Zeppelin, and the
Hmm.
music they write and they compose is also in this register. So
Yeah.
it's really great that people are doing new stuff, but keeping the old school style with new stuff, you know. And that was something that I liked in your bands straight away when I listened to it. And so are you playing at this time? Are you do you have some gigs? Do people already know you in Luxembourg? What is the influence with the public at the moment? How do you feel it?
The excuse me. I think people know us individually. Hang on a second, Jimmy. People know us individually, but probably not so much band. But I guess we've still got some connections. So we're using those. And we're actually playing our first gig in Culture Bar on the
Oh
5th of
yeah,
April.
with
Um,
Tiago.
with Tiago, yeah, with Tiago. Hi, Tiago, if you're listening. So yeah,
Yeah,
we
hola Tiago.
so we'll so we're going to be playing in there, which is like a crazy. I mean, I hadn't actually been in there, but it's this kind of crazy space where you walk in and it looks like a small bar.
It's
Um,
great.
and then you kind of go through the doors and there's this big hall, and I guess that's Jamie just joining us now. Um,
Yes, yes, I think so.
there's a big hall and a nice big stage. So I was tasked with going down there last night and measuring it so we can make sure we get all our gear in there. Yeah, I think hopefully, I think what we've all done in the past has been good quality stuff. I don't want to sound too prideful, but I think, you know, we've all been playing for a while. And so we're just really looking forward. I'm really, really proud of what we're doing. And I'm really looking forward to getting out and playing it to people. Yeah, and I hope they enjoy it. Like you say, it's an old school in a way setup. But yeah, some good, and I've really felt like with the songwriting that it's really come together, you know, perfectly right now, you know, at this particular point in my life. So
Oh, and now Jamie joined us. Hello, Jamie. How are you?
Good evening. I'm very well, thank you. And yourself, Jessica?
Welcome to the Jessica's Music Talk Pod. So we spoke a little bit with Kevin about the start of the band, the
Hmm.
band members, also the music style. I was telling that I love this old school music style. I told Kevin that your music made me think a little bit about ZZ Top, and I'm a big fan. Blues rock. I sang blues for a long time with
Okay,
Steve Richer, and it's I am very a blues rock fan, and when I listened to your music, I thought, oh yeah, I really want to interview these guys. They are great, and
excellent.
do you want you to say something about the start of the band from your perspective? And do you want to speak a little bit about your feeling about this project?
Yeah, sure, I can do. From my side, it sort of came about mainly because of a sort of history of association with Kev in terms of meeting him now and again on gigs somewhere and helping out with the sound and recognizing someone else who had a bit of experience to an extent where we could talk to each other on similar sorts of terms. And I think after that, it was only a matter of time that we would probably start making some music together. And because of that, and yeah, and I think previously Kev had been doing more folky type stuff, which is not really my cup of tea. I don't mind joining in occasionally for these sorts of things to help out, you know, for occasional things, but a full-time band would not be my sort of thing. I'm far too loud for that sort of thing.
You don't like
Um,
the funky stuff?
No, folk music. I can take one or two tracks, but it doesn't hold my interest after that.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, the screech of someone on a violin is like nails on the blackboard for me. So yeah, it definitely doesn't work for me, that sort of thing. So when Kev said he wanted to do something a little more bluesy, rocky, old country-ish, um, it sounded more quite interesting for me. And again, because it in a slightly different way, it wasn't the thing that I would normally sort of do. It made it interesting and more of a challenge for me to try and play that sort of music and do it in I wouldn't say authentic, because I'm not from those particular areas, but do them justice. Um, so yeah, that's why it was of interest to me, and yeah, it's been going very well. I think the things we've been coming up with have sounded really good. I'm really happy again to be playing in an originals band. I've done covers for a long time, which is great. It's fun, but it's not as creative as writing something new. So yeah, it's been very, very good so far. And I think from what we've been experiencing recently, I expect there's going to be a lot more good originals coming out of the collaboration. So yeah, all good.
Great. So we also were speaking about the gigs you
Mhm,
have you had and you have at the moment,
mhm,
and also the feeling with the public. And Kevin also told that you play a lot at the culture bar, and it's really funny because the culture bar was the Groom Club's songwriters' home for a time when I organized the open mics. And the Groom Club was really about the singer-songwriter stuff,
mhm.
so I'm very happy to hear that Tiago is receiving original bands who put a big importance about singer-songwriting. And I'm very, very happy that the former Groom Club home is receiving bands who are really putting effort, who are really putting effort in the singer-songwriter stuff. So
Yeah.
it's really nice to hear that.
Last
Um,
time we were there, there was a really good selection. I don't think there was anything that you would consider to be below par. It was all very, very good stuff. A good mix of people did different things, but all of it was beyond competent. And so, yeah, it was very interesting to listen to everyone.
what about your now? We go in more technical details and
Mhm,
also composing details, and
mhm.
how does it? How is it when you write the songs? And if we go in the technical part, what is your way to work? Who writes? Who is more in the composition of the instrumental part? How is your working procedure for the songs?
Well, I mean, I guess it usually starts with me, although that changed in our last rehearsal, because we've got a song that sort of evolved out of something Jamie was doing, which is going to be exciting to work on. But usually I write at home. I often write I often write things by making mistakes and thinking, oh, that's actually sounded quite nice. So and and coming across new things that way. And yeah, I'll start writing on the guitar, usually an acoustic over there somewhere. Yeah, I'll
I see
start.
a Stratocaster behind you already.
Yeah, that's there is a Strat there. That, yeah, there's many different guitars. I may have a guitar problem, but yeah. So yeah, so I'll start writing on my acoustic, and then a riff comes along, and often I'll turn up at the rehearsal and I'll have nothing more than a riff maybe, or a verse and a chorus, and some sort of half-formed lyrics, and we'll take things from there. But it's a great songwriting combo. The first rehearsal Jamie came to, I came with a song which I was about to ditch. I just didn't think it was very good. And at the end of the rehearsal, it's become one of our best, I would say, one of our best songs. So, which we just finished off. So, Pitt's a really creative drummer, and he adds a sort of a kind of, you know, a sort of an extra element to what we're doing, and he obviously, all the drums are created by Pitt. So, and then Jamie's very good with the melody and with arrangements. So so that's really been the format so far, although we're going to break the mold on the next one. But yeah, so that's basically how it happens. I come with something that's kind of half baked, and then we kind of get it in, knock it into shape in rehearsal. And of course, we've recently been joined by JC, and JC has a huge amount of experience himself, so he's bringing his own ideas to the newer songs, and even, you know, ideas to the older songs. So he's also a very, very good guitarist. So I feel sometimes I feel a bit of an imposter when I'm playing the guitar and JC's playing the bass. But anyway, so yeah, that's the process, I guess.
Okay, so, and if I understand, you also are the poet of the band. So you are writing the lyrics, and you are also singing the lyrics. So you are the singer,
yeah,
and you are also the author of the lyrics.
Yeah, I suppose the lyrics is probably my major input on it, because, you know, tunes change, and, you know, the songs evolve musically with the band, but the lyrics, I suppose they're mine. You know, I really enjoy writing lyrics.
And speaking about the lyrics, what is the topic that is really important for you? Do you speak about something in general? Or are there topics that are more important for you, or message you want to pass to the public? What is your influence when you write the lyrics? What is really important for you about it?
I mean, I suppose it would be, in a way, you know, I'm blessed with like a really, really great life now. You know, I have wonderful wife and daughter, and you know, and two wonderful children in the UK who are not children anymore; they're men now. But you know, my life is very, very good now. But it wasn't always so. I started off doing the classic sex, drugs, and rock and roll thing. You know, and from the age of like 17, I did that until I was 27, and ended up in a complete mess as a result. So a lot of the lyrics I write are about that. They're about, you know, struggling with alcohol, with drugs. So I write about that a lot. I write about my experiences, you know, the good ones and the bad ones, I guess, and also mental health. You know, I think as a result of what I did, or I was just born that way. I've had, you know, I've lived with mental health problems a lot of my life, and I would say overcome's the wrong word, but you know, as I say, I can't talk highly enough about my life at the moment, how great it is. So, but it wasn't always like that. So I write about that a lot too. Yeah, occasionally I write about some happy things as well.
So, and I think it's with the world we are living now, and the life people have at the moment, it's so important, because there are so many people who have like depression issues and so, and that they don't speak with anybody about it because they don't want to annoy people. And
Yeah.
I think it's very important that artists are passing the message, or trying to help these people indirectly, with the art and the music. Like I also told in previous interviews, with Portuguese bands as with the bands from Luxembourg. I say several times that we artists also have a bit of this mission to pass the messages sometimes,
Mm,
and sometimes we, even if we don't know, sometimes our lyrics can have an impact on somebody who is listening to the song and perhaps really needed to listen to it. And I don't know, but I believe that perhaps in the history some songs saved somebody's life.
mm.
uh, who knows, so yeah, I really admire that you speak about this particular problem, because it's an actual problem. It's something that is really actual, that I see always more and more people with depression issues, and burnouts, and fear, a lot of
Mhm,
fear
mhm.
at the moment. And yes, it's nice to make them feel that they are not alone. And yeah.
No, exactly. I mean, I think there's some ridiculous percentage of people walking around who've either are experiencing, have experienced, or will experience some diagnosable mental illness. So it's like it's some crazy. I wish I had the WHO stats with me, but it's a huge percentage of the population. So it's not just that people aren't alone. It's not. It's difficult to sort of call it a minority. It really, when you talk about this proportion of the population. So and people are so afraid to talk about it, and there's so much stigma around mental health problems, which I find, I understand, but one of the great things I've gotten to do later in life is I'm at the very bottom of the mental health ladder in terms of qualifications, but I did a mental health first aider qualification, which really didn't take a huge amount of time, and it's been hugely rewarding, talking to people about these things. And so yeah, I think talking about it is very, very important, and the more we talk about it, the more normal it becomes. And because one of the big problems, and I don't want to go on derail this into a mental health thing, but one of the big problems with mental health is that if you get help early, it's much easier to treat. The longer it goes on, the more difficult it is to treat. Doesn't mean it's impossible to treat, but it means it's just a little bit more difficult. So acting early is important.
I agree completely with you, and
Mm.
I am happy to hear that people are doing this kind of stuff you are doing yourself. And thank God that there are people. But even if you had to go through difficulties to know what you know today and to help the people, but yeah, it's good to know that there are people like you who are helping the other people to get through their stuff. And thank you very much for what you do. And Jamie, about the working process and the lyrics and everything we spoke now, do you want to give your perspective of the working process from the band, or what you feel about it?
No, I think I would concur with what Kev was saying. That's pretty much what happens. Um, I think the important part is the creativity part. Sometimes you need that sort of spark that starts something off, and I think that's what Kev does. He brings in those sparks, whether, as you said, whether it's fully formed or half formed, a bit of an idea. And you never know. Sometimes you can have something and it doesn't inspire anything at that moment. And then the next time it can suddenly inspire something. And for me, it's a feeling thing. Something can inspire you, and then all of a sudden, for me, it just appears in my head. The whole thing will appear there, and oh, okay, then it needs this, and it needs this, and this should go here, and this needs that. And if the inspiration is there, then that just comes there. So whether it's just arrangement or whether it's adding bits and pieces, whether it's whatever the different guitar parts that need to go together, whether it's constructing the solo that goes in there. I find if you try and force it, then it doesn't really work. But I think so far it's been very, very easy. It's been very inspiring, and it's come very naturally and very quickly, I think. So yeah, I would say I'd agree with what Kevin has explained. And I think the good thing is as well, going forwards, everything that we've seen so far, and I was discussing this with Kev before, based on that statement about inspiration. And I remember seeing this with a few people. I think John Cleese had this in an interview as well, saying you have to give yourself the time to be inspired and to allow that spark to happen. And so, yeah, those times in the rehearsals when we put some time aside to say, what have you got? Yeah, that's for me, that's the really enjoyable time, because that's when you do get those creative moments. And I think ultimately for anyone who's trying to be artistic, and obviously it includes in the word creative, those are the moments that you aim for, that you want to have, because that gives you the validation at the end of the day that everything else that's come before it is there and has moved you to that moment to create that new thing. Yeah, great, love it.
And the feeling I have also when I hear you speak about the band is that there is also trust between you guys in the bands, and that this is very important too, to create together. There has to be trust and there has to be connection. And I feel that when I hear you, I really have this feeling that it really exists between you guys in the band, that you trust each other, that you enjoy to work with each other. And yes, and when the trust and the joy to work together is there, so great stuff comes out. So I am so curious to hear the next songs that will come out from you guys.
I think also as well there's that element of when you have a certain level of experience or understanding, whether you consciously have that or not, it's about using your ears. It's about listening to what's going on around you, whether that be verbally or musically. So if Kev comes in with a piece of music that has a certain feeling, produces a certain emotion, there's no point me trying to counteract that with something that's different. So you have to listen to what's going on. And I think, that's the results of a good band. If you get the right people together who can listen to each other and can follow on from the emotion or the spark that someone has created, and support that, then you get a great result. If you get a bunch of people together who can't listen or only have, let's say, you've learned, and I'm not picking these things for any particular reason whatsoever, but if you've only ever played folk all your life, for example, and someone sticks you in a completely different setting, whether it be, I don't know, a heavy rock or a jazz or an experimental situation, if you don't have anything in your kit bag and your toolbox, so to speak, that you can bring in those situations because you don't have the background, the capability, then it doesn't work. And I think that's also in our situation. So Kev's done these many different styles in the past. Probably less from my side in terms of my background and experience, but I've always had that capability to listen what's going on and then produce something that to try and match and go with it. And so far, it seems to be working very well, I think.
Yeah, I really feel this. And speaking about the next songs, so what are the future plans for the band now? Are you cooking something new? What are you, if the stuff you want to talk about, the stuff where you want to keep secret, I understand, but what are you planning now for the future of the project?
Well,
I think we've been secret for several years, haven't we? I think it's time to stop being secret and
yeah, exactly.
get it out there.
I think we have like a bunch of songs that no one's heard, which will be playing in our gigs. I think we've got a demo which includes 4 songs. So and so there's a bunch more which we've been working on, and there's always 3 or 4 on the back burner. So we've got, I think, 3 at the moment in my placeholder list, so which we're currently working on. At the moment, we're kind of concentrating on making sure we make a good show at Culture Bar on the 5th. So but as for the future, I don't know. I think we just want to, what we all agree on is we just want to get out and play, and it's our ambitions are really quite straightforward. I mean, for me, the whole process is good, but one of the things I enjoy as much as I enjoy writing and co-creating with the band is performing, and performing something good. And I really feel strongly that we've got something good to play, and it's something that's going to be good to come and see, and I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, I don't know. With my last band, took us sort of all over the place, all over Luxembourg, and then out of Luxembourg, and that was great. But I think that sometimes I think some of the best gigs are when it's you're playing at Conrad downstairs and there's 20 people, but everyone's having fun. That's, for me, that's those are the good gigs.
And what about recording an EP or an album? You are not thinking about this yet, or?
I certainly would like to do that. So I can't imagine anyone in the band being against the idea. But yeah, I certainly would like to do that. I would indeed like to do that. So, but I think we need to get some gigs under our belt and, prove to people that we kind of mean business, and then
that we exist.
That we exist, indeed. Yes. Yeah.
The first step.
Yeah.
It's an interesting question, if I may. Sorry to interrupt. It's an interesting question in this day and age. Are we going to produce an EP or an album? That's very much a vinyl or a tape experienced question. Do people still produce EPs and albums for?
They do.
They do? Or is it just straight onto some sort of streaming platform, one record, one single? Even I'm calling it a record. One song at a time. Yeah, one track at a time.
I think honestly, that's probably what happens. But I don't think I don't know. We're not really playing that kind of music, I guess. So it's
right.
And I think that I recorded an EP with the last band. So and we nearly didn't have enough songs to call it an EP, actually, when we got there's a lot get left on the studio floor, but yeah, some kind of recording, and I think I really enjoy recording that whole process, and yeah, as I say, getting out getting out.
And also because of the release, I always say that for me a release, it is like this in Luxembourg, at least. It's like the birth of a child, you know. It's the big event. It's you are presenting your work, you are presenting your stuff, and yes, and I believe that there are still people doing EPs and albums. Thank God. Not
Yeah.
everybody is leaving the old school stuff, you know. There are still people who believe in these things.
Yeah.
And yes, and it's always nice to leave your mark, you know, to leave a trace of your work, a trace of what you did. It doesn't matter how many people will listen to it, or if people will like or not like, but at least you left something. You recorded it, and there is something. Even when you pass away, it will be always there, and people can always go and listen to your music. And I see the recordings and the an EP or an album or even a single. I see it like that, you know, to leave a trace of what you of your job, of of your work, of your art. And yeah, and how many bands and how many singers did not have much success when they released their stuff, and everybody's listening to it today, for example. So
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think it's an interesting question, isn't it? You know, is the album, is the EP something of the past? But I give you a very real example. My daughter, she loves pop music. She's a really great singer as well. Well, not saying I am, but she's a really great singer. And she listens to most of her stuff on Spotify. But what these EPs and albums, what they've become now is merchandise, you know. So she listens on Spotify, but things she can hold is her vinyl, you know, or her CD that she has. So that's the thing she can put up on her shelf and play her friends, you know. So it's not the Spotify thing. And you know, we can mourn the loss of the old music environment that maybe I started out playing in. But we are where we are, you know. We for Spotify and Apple Music, and we're content, we're not artists, and you know, and all that kind of thing. And yeah, I think that's sad, but I still don't think anything. I went to see Olivia Rodrigo with my daughter in Cologne last year, and it was amazing, and it was an experience, and that was because it was real, you know. It was real. And she has an amazing band, by the way, but yeah, it was a real tangible experience, and I think that's the joy. So you, as I say, go and walk into the Pygmalion, or you know, or somewhere, or go and walk into a huge stadium in Cologne. It's the same genuine experience. It's human interaction, you know, right in front of your face. And that, I don't think that will ever go away, because, you know, it hasn't for the last however long it has been since people have been making noises, you know.
yeah, of course. So I don't say that we don't have to adapt also to the new environment. I think that we should also adapt and also be in the streaming platforms. And so, but I also think above that, that we also can, even if we adapt to the new environment, we can also keep the old habits too. You know, why leave the old ways behind, and just adapt to the new? So I think the two things are possible. So yes, and it's great that some people are still doing that, and I hope they will continue to do it. The vinyl is the best example. for a long time people
Yeah,
didn't listen to vinyls anymore, and nowadays it came back like boom. Everybody has a vinyl player at home, and everybody's buying vinyls, and also for collectors, and so yes, so yeah, the I always say we can never say never. So and about gigs, so you spoke about it already. You have a gig now, the 5th of April at the Culture Bar. Do
exactly.
people have to do reservation?
I don't think so. I mean, no, just turn up, and as you know, they've got some good food at Culture Bar as
Yes,
well.
they
So
do.
and some tapas and other things if you don't like tapas. So um,
Francesinha. I know
what's
he
that?
does that. Francesinha. I know
Ah,
Tiago does that. I ate some of over there.
okay. So there we go. So it's so they have some, it's I mean it's just a nice place. So and as for future gigs, we've got a few things, a few feelers out at the moment. So I'm hoping to do some stuff with another band in Luxembourg soon, but there's no details on that. And yeah, we're approaching some other venues, and we're focused. I guess we're focusing on this one. I don't think we want to play 3 times a week. But I mean, ideally every month or every couple of months we'll go out and play another gig. So that's the general plan.
Okay, and about the summer festivals, and so you have nothing planned for the moment?
Summer festivals. I did an awful lot of festivals of the Chaunters, which is my previous band, and they're really mostly booked up the year before. So
Okay.
unless you're talking about Fête de la Musique or other things like that,
Yeah, I'm
um,
talking also about that.
yeah, but the Fête, even Fête de la Musique, and you need to have done something already, like
Mm,
if they're going to
yeah.
take you on. And so I feel probably we'll do more of that next year, if we do it. And yeah, and the other festivals, I mean, I think I'd sent some emails out, but everyone's really booked up, and I remember that from I was booking sometimes 2 years in advance,
Mhm.
so but that's just how it is. So we'll see. We will do that, and I love doing that, because especially in Luxembourg, because they've got so much money here to put. They have like amazing sound systems and stages and engineers and desks, and you really get to play with all the toys. So it's fun. It's fun doing festivals in Luxembourg.
Yes, it is.
Mm.
Yeah, I had the chance to do a few, and I'm very grateful to the universe for this. And okay, so if we speak about the gigs, if somebody's listening to the interview and go, yeah, because very important, I will put all the information about the band here in the description of the video. So I invite all the people to go to the website, the YouTube channel, to the social medias of Deep Notes. And discover your music, and discover your world, your environment. And if there are some organizers who want to book the band for a gig or for a concert, um, how can they reach you? Which is the best way?
Well,
Give
probably
all the information.
the easiest one to remember in this kind of forum is our website, which is deepnotes.rocks. Deep Notes, all one word, .rocks. And that has contact details on it. But we have a Facebook page. If you go on Facebook and put Deep Notes Luxembourg, you'll head to our page. We also have a Blue Sky page, which I'm really enjoying, actually. The Blue Sky platform is a bit of an alternative to X. So we also have a page there. But yeah, if you go to deepnotes.rocks, and you'll find rocks, ROCKS, and then you'll find all the contact details you need, and we'll be very happy to talk to you.
And now, just for curiosity, I try not to forget to ask this question to the band. Sometimes I forget, but why deep notes? Why did you? I always like to know the meaning of the name of the projects. Why did you choose deep notes?
Well, it was. I think we'd have to ask our original bass player Roberto, because there's the band is kind of a democracy, as much as that's possible. It's a democracy. So when we wanted to come up with a name, and it was a year and a half, 2 years ago maybe, we all put our names forward, and we did a kind of poll on SurveyMonkey, and everyone voted for the name, and Roberto came up with the name. So but I think to him it meant, for him, I don't like to put words in his mouth, and hopefully he'll probably correct me, but for him, I think it meant something meaningful to him, that the notes were meaningful. So and that's where it came from. So yeah.
So if he's listening to the interview, I also want to inform to the public that I decided to activate the comments from now on, because I think everybody has the right to have the freedom of speech and give his opinion about the videos.
Yep.
So if he's listening and he wants to give us the real meaning of the name for him, just put it in the comments. So
strips off it.
Let's hope it's something similar.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, do you want to add something that I forgot to ask you, or that is important for you about the project?
No, I think we've got it all covered. I mean, just from our point of view, we're just really grateful to be on here, and to be talking to you, and to be talking to anyone else who's listening or watching. So yeah, it's been really awesome. You seem like just a really great person, Jessica. So
I tried.
And hopefully you'll be able to make your way back to Luxembourg one day.
Yes, yeah, I go very often to Luxembourg, because I miss my family, I miss my friends. So from the last month, I was every month, like I'm trying to go every month, even if it's just 1 week. I have also my projects here in Portugal, so I have people who are counting on me. I cannot stay long in Luxembourg, but I try to go to visit my friends and family once a month. And if there are bands playing or jam sessions or so, I always profit to go and watch the bands. So if I come to Luxembourg and you are playing, guys, I would be so happy and so glad to see you playing live. I'm sure the ambience is great, and I am very thankful that you accepted also to be part of this podcast, and that you accepted the invitation. Thank you so much. And Jamie, do you want to add something that is important or that I forgot to ask?
No, I think you've got all the bases covered. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. And now my last question that I do to all the guests who come to the podcast is, if you had some young guy or somebody who starts now to write his songs, who wants to show what he does or start his singer-songwriter career, which advice would you give to him? Kevin, we start with you. Which advice would you give to somebody who is starting to do his stuff now?
You have to be satisfied with really, really bad results. That's my thing, and just keep doing it.
And you, Jamie? Which advice would you give?
Yeah, similar thing. Without wishing to sound like the old sports brand cliche, just do it. The more you do it, the better you'll get. And as Kev says, yeah, the first thing that everybody writes is not that impressive. And the second thing may not that impressive, but you keep going and you keep going and you keep going. And eventually, if you're just honest, something will come out. And importantly, as well, it doesn't matter what it is. I know this from experience or whatever. You want to force it to be this or you want to force it to be that. Doesn't matter what it is, it'll come out. Just let it come out, and whatever it'll be. But just do it.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to speak with you, to have this chat with you. It was a pleasure to know a little bit also about a little bit more about your band and your project. I wish you all the luck and all the success, really, guys. You really deserve it. Just to remember to all the people who are listening, I will put all the description, all the information about the band here in the description box. So I will put the link for the YouTube, the links for the website, the links also for the social media. If you want to contact the band, don't hesitate to contact them directly. Don't forget the 5th of April at the Culture Bar in Clausen in Luxembourg-City. Go there and go watch Deep Notes. I am sure if you like blues rock, if you like old school stuff, you will like this for sure. And also go and listen to their music, and also share the band's music, share the band's social media pages, support the band, like their pages, subscribe to their channels. And also for the podcast, all the people who are not subscribed yet, because I saw in the statistics of the podcast that there are a lot of people interacting, so people watching the videos or interacting in the page, social, in the Instagram page or Facebook page, but they are more than the subscribed people. So there are more interaction of non-followers than followers. So all the people who like the podcast and all the people who watch the videos, who go to the social media, just like, it's the best way to support my job is really to subscribe to the channel, to put a like in the videos, and also to share with your friends. And this is the best way to help me and the best way to support me, my job, the podcast, and also at the same time, you support also the artists who are interviewed into the podcast. And I also have, for those who want to give a little donation, I also have a PayPal me link that I will also put here in the description box. I also have a TP account and a Buy Me a Coffee account. But yeah, if just for the people who want to give a little donation, and this money is used to buy material or to pay softwares that I use to improve the quality of the podcast. Yeah, this is only for the people who want to support financially. You can also find the links here in the description box. For all those who don't want to support financially, it's okay. But yeah, the best way to support is really to subscribe to the channel, to share, and also please also share the artist's page, subscribe to the artist's channel and page, and also support all the musicians who are interviewed into the podcast, because if you support the artists, you are also supporting the art in general. So, and the music and the local scene, and yeah, and we really want to help everybody and to keep the music alive. Thank you so much. Next week, I will receive a band from Portugal. It will also be in Portuguese. They are called the Triggered Zone. It's a very new band too. So I hope you will enjoy it. Don't forget, if you want to check also the former interviews, don't hesitate to go and see the other interviews. And I keep you also informed about the news, and I will, and if Deep Notes releases something, we also share it on the Jessica's Music Talk Pod page. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all your help. Thank you for all the support you will give to the podcast since the start, even before you knew me. And this is very, very kind. And also, thank you that you all are also sharing stuff from the other musicians from Luxembourg. I find this very humble from you guys, and I wish you all the best. See
Thanks,
you,
Jessica.
and
Thank
thank
you,
you, and
Jessica.
see you next week. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Children's at something, catching up with list of things I'm supposed to think. The night is clear and peaceful, sweet rides in the lot, and the women out to party, well they sure do look hot.